Welcome to the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast with your host, life coach Jeff Relaford. This podcast is designed for those who wish to change their inner self in order to maximize outward potential. So come redirect, regroup, and refocus with your number one life coach, Jeff Relaford.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you. Now, look, I just want to continue to thank y'all for listening to this podcast. I thank y'all for our returning users who always come back and give us a listen. Once again, we greatly appreciate y'all. We hope that we saying something to really get you going and to really get you through your week, because that's the goal here. When I let this out on Mondays, it's so that we could go ahead and really make sure that you all have something going for y'all. So, hey, we're just going to get right to it, everybody. So let's get to talking. So what I really want to let y'all know this week is this, okay? I want to tell y'all, do not allow someone else's confidence to intimidate you, okay? So when I say do not allow anybody's confidence to intimidate you, it's like this. Everybody has their own arena. Everybody has their own game plan. Everybody has their own space that they stay in. Now, when we start talking about in terms of business, when we say family, we say friends, different things of that nature. A lot of times you have to let people do them. And now what I'm talking about doing them is not if it's going to cause some harm to somebody, not if it's going to cause some type of pain or hurt to somebody. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to like I tell everybody, disrespect shouldn't be tolerated on any level, okay? Any level, because I'm not even that type of person. I'm not going to disrespect you, so why should you disrespect me? And usually people who disrespect me and they feel that they right about certain things, or they feel that they can go ahead and just kind of walk all over me and say what they want to say, I don't have those people in my life. So I do want to say that when looking at somebody's confidence, okay, you have to understand the difference between confidence and intimidation, okay? There are a lot of people who are very confident in what they do, and they are sure with themselves. But when they're sure with themselves, that means they're good decision makers. You know what I mean? They're good leaders, okay? And people who exude confidence, they're not doing it to be arrogant, okay? What I've learned is this. The people that exude confidence and are humble, and when they talk about different things that are going on in their life, such as their accomplishments, their goals, their achievements, what they're working towards, and where they're going to, the reason why that it sounds arrogant to people is because they're not doing the same things that you are doing. Okay? They're not doing the same things that you're doing. This is why I'm telling y'all, do not allow somebody's confidence to intimidate you. Okay? It only sounds like arrogance because you're not completing the same things that they're doing. So guess what? When you're not in the same realm or arena as somebody, it sounds like every time they talk about an accomplishment they had, it sounds like that it's bragging, but it's not bragging. Shoot, if somebody has a goal or win, they deserve to celebrate that to their own capacity. Now, there are people that do brag. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that when everything happens, they have to go ahead and announce it to the world. It's a lot of people that have, it's a lot of my business partners and my friends who have stuff going on and they don't announce it to the world. You know, they're not bragging. They're humble. It's a lot of stuff that I have going on. Good things that we got going on in the works. You know what I mean? I say that to let my people know, but I'm not bragging. I'm still humble with it. You know, I made my announcement when I say I want to take some of my friends with me on different opportunities, different stuff going on. But the thing is, I get it. Some people don't trust the vision. You know what I mean? Some people, they have to see it, and then they want to hop on after the fact. But I want to say this to somebody. Sometimes, after the fact, something happens, is not the time to jump on. Because there are a lot of background things that you don't see, that you don't know that are going on. You know what I mean? There's some stuff going on right now with certain things I'm connected to that I don't know about. I don't need to know in depth what's going on because that's not my lane. You know what I mean? That's not my lane. I am life coach Jeff Relaford. So as long as I continue to be life coach Jeff Relaford, work in these different realms that I'm in, keep manifesting and harnessing and cultivating the gift that's within me. That's what's going to get me far. That's exactly what's going to get me far. Me working and manifesting and cultivating the gift that I know is inside of me and using that gift to be a blessing to others. Now, some people might not know what that looks like either. You know what I mean? When you're in people's lives, a lot of times people don't know when you have a lot of different things stacked up. So when you pull back from certain people, you know, that can also seem like a bit of confidence that you have. You are confident in you removing yourself from certain situations and or certain people. But sometimes that confidence can be seen as arrogance from others because what did I say earlier? You are going to run into people that are not in the same headspace as you. You are going to run into people who may be actually ahead of you. Now, and that's very interesting too, because there will be people who are ahead of you that, just real talk, that are better, that are going to be better decision makers, better creators and thinkers. That doesn't diminish anything that you know how to do. Okay? That doesn't diminish anything that you know how to do in your realm of creativity. The only difference between them and you is probably the information that they've intaked already, the information that they've studied, they've received, and that they apply. Okay? This is why the game is free. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there that's free for people. It's a lot of times I don't charge for certain things. That's a little sidebar if you're sitting up here listening to the podcast. It's a lot of things that I don't charge for at times. You know what I mean? If you call my number, I'll talk to you for about an hour and give you some game and give you some tips and some knowledge. That's nothing. That's nothing to do. I pay for consistency and longevity. That's what people pay me for. Consistency and longevity. For an hour and a half long phone call, you know, that's nothing. That's nothing. Because at the end of the day, as a life coach, I know that you have to do the work. That's how it goes, yo. That's just how it goes. So I'm cool with that. But to some, me just talking to somebody when they call me and being available, and when I go ahead and I share that to others and I say, hey, I help this person, help this person, help this person. See, I'm confident in the words that I say. You feel me? I'm confident in the words that I speak to people on a daily. I'm confident in uplifting and getting people to think a little bit different about what it is that they want to do. I know that my clients have a vision. So sometimes I have to tell them you have to be okay with your vision being altered. Not because Life Coach Jeff said it. It's because you have to be adaptable to different things that go on in your life. So when I say that to them, that's me confidently telling them that, hey, if you have a correct answer here, it may be correct, but you have to be okay if it doesn't end up working out. That's what I tell them. It's to some people that might be brutally honest, but that's me being confident because I've seen it enough with people. I've seen it enough with me working with people. I've seen it enough with me actually staying in the realm of coaching. So some people get upset when I say it, but then once it starts happening, people start to humble themselves more. When it starts happening, people start looking at it and they be like, oh, wow, okay, let me pull back. Hold on. Life Coach Jeff, you was right. And I tell people, it's not about me being right. Don't have nothing to do with that. And real good mentors, leaders, and coaches out there, real good mentors, leaders, and coaches. And I like to say this, everybody's a leader. Everybody can be a mentor. Everybody can be a coach to an extent or some degree. You know what I mean? We all have some ability to teach people to some extent. There will be some teachers that are better than others. There are some motivators that are better than others. But to some capacity, you can do some of it. You know what I mean? So when you get somebody to see something different, just know it's because you dropped a seed. And at their own time, they're able to recognize it. So that's what happens. So please, people, do not allow someone else's confidence to intimidate you. Please don't. Please don't. Like when I enter into a room and there's certain things that I say and do, it's because I know. It's because I know based on my own experience. That's what it is. It's because I probably peeped the room already looking at some things. And I say, okay, maybe this can shift. Maybe that can shift. Or maybe you can try it this way. Or maybe you can try it that way. You know what I mean? Maybe I might be cautious about something because I don't know. And I might say, I don't know. Did you think about it? Is that something you really want to do? And then if you say yes, go ahead and do it. See, that's what confidence does with people. Confidence will allow you to step into a realm that you might not know what will happen. But whatever the outcome, you will be okay with it. That's what confidence does. Confidence gives you that extra push and extra mile to be ready for the unexpected. Confidence gives you that extra push and that extra mile to be ready for the unexpected. So see, sometimes when we're looking at people, man, everybody's not always arrogant. Everybody is not always bragging. See, a lot of times we got to step out of ourselves and step out of those feelings. Because I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was letting them know some stuff that I had going on. Just holding casual conversation. Hadn't talked to them in a minute. Holding casual conversation. And I made a statement, and when I made the statement, they hit me with a question. It sounded kind of arrogant, yo. And I didn't address it. What I did was I just kept the conversation going, and I was like, okay, maybe this person, maybe they didn't realize they came off that way. And I left it alone. But when I hit them with that information, it was the truth. You know what I mean? You could go right now on the social media, check the receipts, and what I said was the truth. So it wasn't me bragging. It was me literally telling somebody what I had going on and what was going on with the people that I was connected to. You know what I mean? Sometimes people don't believe that you connected to other people too. Sometimes people may believe your confidence and ability to network with certain people and to have created these certain connections with people. They get upset about that because you know why? The only reason why they get upset is because, once again, they're not in that realm themselves. So since they're not in that particular realm, they feel inadequate. They feel like, okay, well, I don't know as much about this, so I can't contribute to the conversation. So wow, they keep going in. They talking about all this stuff. Where do I fit in? And then when they hear it long enough, okay, real talk, when they hear it long enough, what happens is they get intimidated by that. Real talk. They just get intimidated by that. And I know life shouldn't be like that. I get it. I get it. I know life shouldn't be like that when it comes to people, but this is the world we live in, and this is how people are. So we have to be adaptable to that. You know, sometimes, like I said earlier, the particular person that I was talking to probably didn't realize that they sounded arrogant. So I can't get upset about that. I just know that my words hold true. And then when anybody wants to check on something that I say, they can go ahead and look it up. You know, sometimes when we're younger, we live in assumptions and fantasies. We always talk about what we want to do and what we're about to do rather than the things that we're actually doing. Because the reality of some people is that they're not doing a thing. They keep living in the what if. And that's the hard part that people don't want to accept. Like, get out of the what if stage. Get out of the what. Maybe if you got out of the what if stage of your life, maybe somebody else's confidence won't intimidate you. Did you ever think about it like that? Did you ever put yourself in their shoes? How it would be if you were to pick up a particular skill or pick up some knowledge about something, okay? And actually go full force on it. Talk about what you know. Be confident in the words that you say and in the words that you speak. There's some people right now that I know who got a whole bunch of information, who read and study things, but they only keep it in a closed circle. You know, if they had a podcast or if they had something that they wanted to use as an outlet to get something out there, they could do that. They really could do that. But you selling yourself short because you choose to keep your information in a closed group. You choose to keep your information in a closed sector. So you're not inspired to go ahead and start a YouTube channel. You're not inspired to start a podcast. You're not inspired to even do a visual podcast. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's fear. Maybe it's fear that could be stopping you. Maybe because you're saying that maybe the knowledge that's out there is out there already. But who cares if the knowledge is out there already? The thing is that nobody can do it the way that you are doing it, because you are unique. You are an individual that has a specific set of talents that differs from everybody else out there. Even down to the point with how you break down your information. It has the ability and chance to be different. You know? So you have to recognize that and realize that within yourself. And if you can, the fact of the matter is this: if you can't, what's going to happen is you will continue to stay in your close group, in your close circle of individuals. That's how it was with me. Real talk. I'm going to be honest. Like I say, I'll use myself as an example. You know what I mean? If it's going to hurt you on the other side, I'm going to use myself as an example, because it ain't going to hurt me, because I can be honest with myself. That's already what I had to deal with. I had to deal with the fact that, to an extent, I was sharing my information, I was sharing my views, I was sharing my opinions, I was sharing my thoughts, I was sharing my ideas with a closed group of individuals. And sometimes I had to realize even the group of closed individuals that I was with could not understand the things that I was saying at the time. You know, a lot of times we have to keep our ears open. You have to want to understand and comprehend people. You know, that too. Make sure you're around people that wish to understand and wish to comprehend you. You know what I mean? Every time they're around you, they don't have to psychoanalyze you. See, you know what I mean? That's why I had to let some of the people go that I was around too. You know, I'm not a person. I'm a human being. You know what I mean? Once again, do not allow that confidence that somebody is speaking in. Do not allow that to intimidate you. That's it. Because you just got to know where you fit. You got to know where the pieces of the puzzle fit at. And then that's what I was doing. I was looking at where the pieces of the puzzle fit, and I was looking, where can I share my information that will give me the best results? Where can I share my information where I can end up seeing the things that I want to see, okay, by me helping people? Where can I start a dialogue? How can I start a chat with people? How do I get people actually talking about the information that I have? Because once you put it out there, I can care less about people's opinions. As long as it's not negative. What I mean by negative is do not knock. Do not knock. Be respectful in how somebody feels. Because if I knock on your door, I come to your home and I tell you how I feel, and I come in and I sit at your table, and I've never met you before. And when I sit at your table, I like to push a point, impress my feelings to you. That's not always going to work so good. That's not always going to work so good. And I'll be honest, me and my wife, we talk about this stuff all the time. We talk about when we start looking at some of these relationship reels and everything like that, okay? When we look at the relationship reels, it's crazy, because when you start really paying attention to it, these people get into full-blown arguments over things that other people say. Now, not wanting to listen to the words of it and actually break down the words of what that person means. But we always want to say, well, this person should do this or this person should do that. This person should have said this or should have said that. But we're not actually trying to understand what it is that they're saying. You know what I mean? That's a big disparity with people, what I'm seeing, especially when you look at the relationship reels and everything. You start to see these comments that are on them. A lot of it is because we're not willing to listen. We rather rebuttal a point. We rather rebuttal a point than actually agree with somebody and say, you know what? Yeah, what you said is right. It always starts off with, yeah, you know, I understand what you're saying, but see, I try not to say that. What did my man say? But does. But cancels out everything that you said before, the statement that you had before, because you're going to fill it with logic that you feel is better behind that statement. You like, yeah, I like it, but it could use such and such and such and such. You know, I really want to go to the store today, but I'm not feeling good. So you not feeling good is really overriding the fact that you need to go to the store. You feel me? You need to go and get supplies. You need to pick up certain things, but you're just choosing not to do it today. I want y'all to think about that, man. I really want y'all to see how really that plays a role into really shaping how we think. Once again, do not allow somebody's confidence to intimidate you. Be confident in your own speakings, in your own dealings, in your own relationships. Trust the fact that you have something good, but still use your better judgment to know when things aren't right for you, when you're in the wrong lane, when you're not in the correct realm. This can be family, friends, and business, people. Family, friends, and business. Family, friends, business, and we cannot forget internally. So yourself. Internally should always come first because we want to make sure that you're satisfied first before anything. And you have to be sure that you being satisfied doesn't hurt, harm, or ruffle the feathers of others, because certain things can be done respectfully. You can get out how you feel respectfully. There are certain things that if you don't want to hear, you could just pretty much avoid. Pretty much avoid. It's stuff that I avoid on a daily. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but it's certain things that I ignore on a daily because I can't allow certain things to enter into my spirit or my mind because it's going to throw me off from where I'm trying to go. Once again, when people aren't on the same level as you, when people aren't trying to go the same places that you're trying to go, the talk is different. Like, for instance, I can't be in conversations where a lot of people are talking about other women and looking at other women. I desire my wife. See, this is a mental choice that I made. I desire my wife. So why would I meddle in conversations where other men are going to talk about other women all the time? Why would I do that? Why would I entertain the fact that somebody is filled and thinking about other women when they're married and I want to see them succeed, but a lot of times what they're doing is they're looking at somebody else. Nah, man, I can't have that hop over to me. I'm sorry. That mentally, that's how I am. Now, I don't care if anybody else think about it in a different way. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But as a man, look, it's certain things that I'll say and I'll do. Like my wife has even told me, Jeff, I know you're going to look at other women. Yeah, that it happens. Like my wife can look at another man and say that he's cute. I have enough confidence to know that my wife desires me enough to where she ain't going out nowhere. And my wife knows that I desire her enough to where I ain't going nowhere. I ain't that crazy. You know, well, sometimes when you got something that worked too good, you don't want to sacrifice what worked too good. You got somebody that love you, that care about you the whole nine. But I say all that to say this. It's okay to move away from certain things. And people will get upset about that. People will look at you and make it seem like that you're an issue or a problem because you tried to separate yourself from something because you knew it wasn't conducive to where you were going. And I say this to say that's no shade to throw on people. Sometimes you got to understand why people separate. You have to understand why people separate from certain things that they have in their life. But it's funny how they can go back to it. I had a conversation with one of my boys, and he broke it down real good to me. He said, Jeff, I had to separate from a certain group of people because I knew if I stayed talking to them, my dreams were going to get shot down. I knew that if I couldn't find myself within those people that were still stagnant in the same place. It was a lot of what if being said. But even though I was going through all my torment and all my trouble, I wasn't trying to be in what if. He said, Jeff, I know what it looked like on the outside because I was down bad. He said, I was really messing up, bro. It was a lot really going on. But it hit me one day, and I said I had to really do things for myself, go full force in what my hopes and my dreams are, because I can do it and I can accomplish it. I don't have time to be sitting with simple-minded people. Now, these are his words, simple-minded people who are on one level and one way of thinking. and don't have no faith in what I'm trying to do. But then when I finally separated and I got around like-minded people who had the same skill set, the same goals, the same dreams that I had, then I started to flourish. And that's true because this man is killing the game right now. He is doing good, and he is extremely happy with what he's doing. And he told me, he said, Jeff, I don't have to check in with them all the time. I don't. He said, my people know that I watch everything. It's funny because I know other people who are in similar situations like that too. Even people who are more closer to me who are in certain situations like that. But it's crazy how the gestures are the same. Once again, do not allow somebody's confidence to intimidate you. Okay? It's nothing personal, yo. When it comes to you, it's remove your feelings out of it. Okay? Remove your feelings out of it and let people walk down the lane that God has ordained them to walk down. Let them walk down the lane that they are purposed to walk down. You are not the one to dictate that for anybody. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you dictate your own life. You dictate your own life. You can't walk in and try to dictate somebody else's. I had to learn when it's a reason why. Have y'all seen Intervention? That show called Intervention. It's a reason why when the friends or the family try to help somebody that they love, okay? They try to help somebody that they love. And when they help them, it's a reason why that family member can't receive what's actually being said at the time, okay? There's a reason why that person isn't being receptive, because they're not ready. They're simply not ready. So you have to realize that even with your group of friends and your people, a lot of people are not ready to receive what you want to have. A lot of people are not ready to receive just the words that you're saying in general because they're not there. Intervention is when people are addicted to certain things, and it's a mental state. The same rules apply. People, the same rules apply. I don't care if you're addicted to drugs or you have a hard time listening to people. The fact still remains. I use something like addiction because at some point in time, that person has to realize the drugs can have you so bad. But mentally, you have to say to yourself, okay, I want to save myself. I want to help myself. And I say that because I know people who have dealt with addiction. And they have told me that, Jeff, I had to decide to pull myself out of the water, to pull myself out of the mud. So once again, I this isn't me just saying stuff because that's my own opinion. No, this is what I've heard from addicts. This is what I've heard from people who have gotten over the hump. Said, Jeff, I had to stay clean. I had to make up my mind to stay clean. And it wasn't easy because the mind doesn't always match up with what the body craves. So, but he said, mentally, I had to get right. I'm telling you, man, it's people out there who deal with some stuff, man. And it's interesting when you start talking to them and you hear the stories that they have. Once again, do not allow somebody else's confidence to intimidate you. If you feel somebody being rude to you, say something about it. Get understanding about it, people. Stop always trying to act like the world revolves around you. There are certain things that you do in this world that mean something. Hold near and dear to that. But when pertaining to other people, you have to separate yourself from your emotions and their actions. You have to let people do them sometimes. And when you let people do them, be okay with them doing them. If you see where something can cause some injury or bodily harm to somebody else or emotional harm or something like that to them, yeah, intervene a little bit. Ask some questions, get understanding. But the moment you see some pushback, sometimes it's good to back away. Sometimes it's okay to back away. Sometimes it's okay to keep pushing. Now, it's up to you to read that situation. I'm not telling nobody what to do, but it's up to you to read that particular situation with that particular person. You know what I mean? But let's, if nobody has anything going on like that, let's normalize allowing people to stay in their lane. And if somebody fails, it don't always have to be a, well, I told you so. I knew it wasn't going to fail. Because I knew it wasn't going to work. Because people will say that behind your back. People will say that behind your back. And you can tell when people be saying that stuff behind your back. You can tell when people don't have no faith in what you're doing. You can tell that. But it's funny because the people that don't make any moves and don't have the skin in the game in the realm that you're doing, those are the main ones who want to talk about you. And I used to do that when I was younger. Real talk, yeah. I used to do that when I was younger. But, yeah, you change for the better. So change for the better. Learn to know that people have a lane to stay in. And when people stay in that particular lane, it's up to them. So, all right, y'all. That's all that I got for y'all. Remember, do not allow somebody else's confidence to intimidate you. Do not allow somebody else's confidence to intimidate you. Know that they got a lane that they're in, and they got there by putting in some hard work and dedication. And know that you have the ability and chance to do the same thing too. So, all right, y'all. Remember, it's Life Coach Jeff coming to you. I hope I said something within this 30-minute span here that'll get you going for the week, that'll give you a new perspective, a new mindset on where you're trying to go this week. So, all right, remember, redirect, regroup, refocus. I love y'all. Peace out. Thank you for listening and tuning in to the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast. We do thank you and appreciate and value you as a listener. Now, I would like to just throw in, please follow us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram as Redirect, Regroup, Refocus, and also Life Coach Jeff Relaford. You can also find me on Facebook as Jeff Relaford. That's my personal page. Go ahead, give me a follow there. I always put up some good inspirational content. And also the business page, Redirect, Regroup, Refocus on Facebook as well. So, all right, you all, thank you for tuning in. And next week, we will be here again. Remember, Redirect, Regroup, Refocus. I love y'all. Peace out.